With a track record of success in strategic planning and organizational development, it is not a surprise that Heidi Roizen implemented similar strategies that led to her successful career and in the development of her network. In business, you need to adapt in order to survive, and Heidi did just that as her network strengths fluctuated and adapted throughout her star-studded career. In addition, Heidi was a prime example of networking tools and techniques that have been taught thoroughly within this module. In the early stages of her career, Heidi was focused simply on building her network. At a young age, it is of paramount importance to lay the foundation for which your network will be built upon, and that is exactly what Heidi did. Heidi capitalized on any and every opportunity that came across her desk to capitalize on networking opportunities. Her position in her first job enabled her to have contact with high-level executives and individuals on a consistent basis, given that she was the editor of the company newsletter. This was without a doubt a primary strength of her networking at the time, and through these interactions with high-level executives, she displayed her performance and consistency in her work, thus building a strong reputation throughout executive management. After a successful stint in this role, she was able to secure recommendation letters that led to her enrollment at the Stanford MBA program. And upon graduation from the Stanford MBA, she went to work with her brother, a software developer for the company TeamMaker that they started. It was in this role where Heidi began to grow her network substantially as she joined the Software Publishers Association as a board member. In this role, she gained substantial industry contact and exposure on a consistent basis. As one of her colleagues was quoted saying, Heidi simply enjoyed getting to know and be friends with good quality, talented people. With this natural instinct, this natural ability to make friends with anybody that came through the door, Heidi was surely set to develop her network to unprecedented levels. Once Heidi had built that strong, solid network, her focus shifted to maintaining and leveraging it. In her position at Apple, Heidi utilized her network extensively in order to keep Apple relevant during a downward spiral within the company. And the result was a strong collection of industry contacts that developed. Heidi continued using the same methodology of maintaining and leveraging her network as a mentor and venture capitalist. She would put people in contact with people who she felt they would blend with. She was somewhat a Cupid, a matchmaker in which both sides would mutually benefit from the contact. Eventually, this led to her becoming the go-to person for networking. In my opinion, this next point is where Heidi's biggest strength in networking involved, which were her house parties and mixers. She would diligently build these guest lists for optimal networking opportunities for her guest. They were based on the 50-50 rule, in which individuals who were invited knew 50% of the people there, so they felt comfortable enough to talk, yet there was enough new people there for them to expand their network. Now, towards the peak of her career, Heidi's focus shifted towards delegating her networking maintenance, as her network had grown so large by the peak of her career that she focused her deep relationship building on individuals who were the nuclei of certain groups. So instead of branching out to each individual, she would branch out to core, essentially department managers of these diverse groups in order to tap them instead of each individual person. This essentially made a network that worked for itself, and boy, was it a powerful machine. Now, throughout Heidi's career, you can see how her network adapted and evolved given the circumstances of her professional life, and it was within this evolution of her networking that Heidi utilized several outstanding principles detailed within the module readings. From the How to Build Your Network article, Heidi was a proponent of the Shared Activities Rule, in which she joined the board of software publishers, the Software Publishers Association board. She would put people together who would blend well with each other, and that is where that Software Publishers Association, those original contacts, came into play. Potent networks, they aren't forged through casual interactions, but through relatively high-stakes activities that connect you with diverse others, such as joining that board. Now, in the Persuasion article, it talks about consistency and scarcity, and Heidi is perhaps one of the most consistent individuals in business. She speaks of the importance of consistency within her article, and it's evident in her work. People come back to Heidi because they know what she brings to the table, and they know she brings it each and every time. When the consumers know that a product is going to give them a certain amount of value each time they purchase it, they'll continue to purchase that product. And in this situation, Heidi is that product. And in terms of scarcity, it's simple supply and demand. Heidi would limit her contacts to 2 to 3 times a year, and she wouldn't ask for a favor with every request that came across her desk. She would weed out the bad and give the good to her contacts. That way, her contacts know that when something does come across their desk from Heidi, it's something positive and it's going to have a mutual benefit for both sides. In Give and Take, it talks about takers and givers. And when takers build networks, they try to claim as much as possible from a fixed pie for themselves. But when givers build networks, they expand the pie for everyone so they can get a larger slice, not just for themselves, but for everybody else. Heidi does this when she makes her optimal network pairings and mixers. She could just invite people she knew, but no, she goes the extra mile and puts extra attention into her guest list in order to optimize the networking opportunities for any and everyone involved. And lastly, from Give and Take, there's the actions for impact, embracing the 5-minute favor. And Heidi has so many business plans come across her desk on a daily basis that she could just throw them away and not look at them. But instead of doing that, she goes through and looks at each one and gives those entrepreneurs feedback and advice for their future adventures. This ensures that you never know what somebody's going to be, and by giving them the time and effort, they're going to remember you down the road and come back to you if they need any help. In all, Heidi's network had countless strengths, and she exhibited anything and everything that you could imagine a strong business executive would be about. With her genuine and caring personality, she was truly an asset to all the organizations that she touched and will forever be a part of those organizations throughout their long and prominent careers.